Hi, all of you. Good morning. Good morning, Ganesh, Devarga, Vidhi. Okay, we start now. First of all, any questions you want me to clarify from yesterday's class? We had quite a few range of topics we discussed, mostly around. तो आप लोग याद रखना जब आप करंट अफेयर्स कर रहे हो, in the current affairs you cover for geography GS in topics related to astronomy and space. You look out for three things. You look out for any developments on search for extraterrestrial life, any development on study of origin of a solar system and universe, and if there are any missions which are launched. Okay? ये तीन areas में they ask you questions. If they do, lately they have been asking more around this. Okay, but don't rule out the rest also. ये काम कर रहे हैं? ठीक है. No, Satyam, that's beyond me. Okay, that's a pretty good equation. You just know there is something called as statistical limit. 1.44, 1.5, then I think 8 solar masses. So, more confusion mein na ghuso. That's beyond me. Not in geography at least. Maybe in science technology you may ask, but let it go. कोई फायदा नहीं है. We will essentially it's about the size of a star. The size of a star is compared with the sun that we have. So if the sun is considered to be 1, then how many times bigger than sun we have? We call that as solar masses. 8 solar masses, 4 solar masses, and so on. So that's about it, Satyam. I will not enter more into that. Okay. Can CME disrupt time, space? I think it can, Debarga. But CMEs are not gravitation waves. So when we're talking about disruption of time-space fabric, we are looking at gravitation waves. So CME का कुछ impact होता होगा, but nothing that I have read. So you keep the disruptions of time and space fabric to mainly the black holes, collapsing black holes, maybe some activities of quasars. So CME का होता होगा, but ignore it. Okay, you can let that go. Okay, in the discussions. ठीक है, I'm moving on now. We had some discussions on Earth's shape. Earth's shape. It is not perfectly spherical. It is oblate spheroid. The right word is geoid. Geoid as in Earth-like. And what is the impact of that? So two things about the shape you should know. That what are the evidences? That's one. And second is what is the consequence? Earth shape ka evidences, I gave you a range. One discussion we had was on the North Star. Again, it's a bit of geometry, but you can ignore that. So the eclipse is important. We'll again come back to eclipse when I'm discussing a bit on the tides. And second is we're talking about the evidences of the North Star. Now, one term I could have added yesterday, eclipse ke time mein, we talked about solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. So solar eclipse is when the sun, the moon is in between, and we have the earth on the other side. And lunar eclipse is when we have the sun, the earth in between, and we have the moon here. So one word I missed out yesterday, ये जो position है, where the moon is between the sun and the earth, we call this as the new moon position. We call this as the new moon. And new moon is not visible. Amavasya hoga aapka new moon. The new moon position is this one. This is dark. Okay, so जब भी solar eclipse होता है, it is the new moon position. But remember, not every new moon will cause a solar eclipse. Okay, so this is an important point, that solar eclipse is the new moon position. Hi Shivangi, good morning. Solar eclipse is the new moon position, but not every new moon, okay, causes solar eclipse. How is that possible? Okay, let me try explaining this. Okay, say, पहले लिख लो, पहले लिख लेते हैं. Okay, the solar eclipse is in the new moon. इस जब मून बीच में होता है सन एंड अर्थ के, इसको बोलते हैं न्यू मून. और न्यू दिखता नहीं है, न्यू बोलते हैं न्यू मून. And this, when the moon is the other side, this is called as the full moon position. This is called as the full moon position. और full moon position में moon दिखता है, but in the solar eclipse it gets hidden. It gets hidden. Naveen, problem with the audio? Is it okay? Is that okay now? Is it okay now? Is it okay now? Yes? Yes? Okay, fine. Could be okay, fine, take. Okay. Okay, I get your question. He's asking me, अगर full moon है तो eclipse क्यों है? Watch this. Say I'm holding a pen here, ठीक है? And I put my palm in front of my eyes. I can't see the pen anymore, okay? But if I move my palm back, if I move my palm back enough, now I can see the pen also, okay? So when is the pen not visible? When my palm is between my eyes and the pen, okay? तब दिखता नहीं है. But not every time. अगर एकदम पास में है तो पेन दिखता नहीं है. But if my palm moves far away, the pen दिखता है. I hope you got the point, all of you here. So the full moon happens when the sun rays can fall on the moon and reflect back. The sun rays can fall on the moon and reflect back. Imagine a case where the earth is at such a position कि ये जो लाइन जा रहा था, so let me draw this again. This is the sun, this is the earth, and say this is the moon. This is the moon somewhere here. Right now what happens? It comes here and reflects back. It comes here and reflects back. I see this is the full moon. But imagine a case, sun यहाँ पर है, moon यहाँ पर है, and say the earth has come here. Okay. Now if I look at this, the rays can't reach here. Now if I look at this, the rays can't reach here. And this is the shadow of the earth on the moon. So because of the difference in the shape of the orbit, the sun, the earth and the moon का distance हमेशा same नहीं होता है. There are some changes here. Okay. So in the full moon position, if for some reason, because of distance between them, the rays can't hit the moon, I'll have an earth shadow on the moon. So हमेशा ये example याद रखना, okay? That I can see the pen. अगर pen देखना है, okay, and my palm is in between. If a palm is very close, I cannot see the pen anymore. But if I move my palm far enough, I can again see the pen. So that's why I'm saying, okay, that new moon position में होता है solar eclipse, but not every new moon will have the solar eclipse. Okay? So this one thing I missed out last time. Hello Mansura, hi, good morning. Good morning all of you. So that's one. So I explained the evidences related to the earth shape and the consequence. Consequence हमने पढ़ा how it impacts the gravity, how it impacts the gravity and what happens to the clock moving fast or slow. And we also discussed the consequence in terms of the distance between the latitudes, how that can change, okay, and something more. Okay. So I hope no questions here, all of you. All good here? Now we'll move on towards the international date line. Nothing to teach here. Okay, just know that we have a line, okay, called as the international date line. And quickly for our reference, number one, it is mostly, not entirely, it's mostly aligned with 180 degree longitude. It's aligned with 180 degree longitude. Acha, one term I want you to know, the latitudes, okay, just an extra point here. The latitudes क्या होते हैं? Latitude are circles. Okay, latitudes are circles. Latitudes are parallels. Why parallels? Because every line is parallel to the other lines and they are circles, but the circles का length same नहीं है. Equator is the longest one and the latitude का मतलब है the entire ring is the latitude. But longitudes are not circles, remember this. Longitudes are not circles. Longitudes are half of a circle. So if I have this as the earth, okay, अगर ये एक longitude है, this is one longitude, okay, this is not a complete one, ये फिर अलग longitude है. If this is 0 degree longitude, this is 180 degree longitude. If this is a half of a circle, ये अलग half है. So longitudes are not complete circles. Longitudes are half of a circle. Okay, so longitudes are better seen as lines, whereas latitudes are seen as circles. Okay, so remember this. As I said, longitudes are not circles, they are a half of a circle. So how many longitudes will we have? Okay, so from 0, agar ye 0 hai, we'll have 180 on this side and we'll have 180 on this side. So east longitudes and west longitudes. Okay? So two longitudes will make a circle. Two longitudes will make a circle. And unlike the latitudes, all the longitudes are of same length. Latitudes में क्या है? This is the longest one and all the others are smaller. Poles में तो dot बन जाता है. Okay. So latitudes are all circles, but latitudes are not all same in length. Okay. The equator is the longest latitude. Okay, circle है largest वाला. In case of longitudes, the longitudes are also called as the meridians. Longitudes also called as the meridians. Meridians are not a circle, and two longitude or two meridians together will make up one circle. But unlike latitudes, all meridians and all longitudes, okay, are of a same length. All longitudes are of the same length. I believe all of you know this. Okay, shouldn't be a big deal. So this shows the latitudes, the horizontal parallel lines. जो बीच वाला है, this is the 0 degree equator. In north latitudes हैं, ये south latitudes हैं. And this is the longitude. Okay, and all of them are of equal length, passing through the poles. Okay, and each of them is half of a circle. Okay, so what I'm saying here is that if you look at the international date line, it is 180 degree longitude. Okay, it is 180 degree longitude. So जो 0 degree है, that is through London, Greenwich or Royal Observatory. Okay, there's a place called as Greenwich. Okay, you write as Greenwich, you pronounce as Greenwich. Greenwich लिखते हैं, you pronounce as Greenwich. Okay, it is through London. London में एक जगह है the Greenwich Royal Observatory, और वहां से वो लाइन पास करता है. तो opposite to 0 degree longitude is 180 degree longitude, and this is the international date line. Okay, it is passing through the Pacific Ocean. Again, something you know. It's passing through the Pacific Ocean. But the international date line जो है, it is not exactly same as 180 degree longitude, because they made the date line avoid the islands. Okay, कुछ islands हैं, we don't want to have confusion there. Imagine this is an island and the date line passes like this. So if this says Tuesday, okay, this would probably mean Monday, and that would have been confusion. ठीक है? So to maintain that type of sanity, we said जहां पर islands हैं, okay, the date line will bend like this, will bend like this, will bend like this. So international date line is not exactly a straight line. Okay, it is bent at the islands, okay, so as to ensure there is no confusion. It is bent at the islands to ensure there is no confusion. Okay, in the dates on the islands. So if you look at the map here, so say this is the part of Russia, Alaska, Russia, this is the part of Alaska like this, and then there are some islands here called as the Aleutian Islands. The date line will pass like this, it will turn like this, it will come like this, it will go down, again it will bend. There are some islands called as Kiribati Islands. वहां पर तो एकदम ये ऐसे होके ऐसे हो जाएगा. Okay, यहाँ पर there are islands called as Kiribati Islands. Okay, और यहाँ पर this is what's called as the Bering Sea. So Bering Sea is on the east of the dateline. The Kiribati Islands are on the west of the dateline. No, some of them. Okay, बहुत सारे हैं. So I'll just show that to you once. Okay, and give you some facts around that. Kiribati Islands, Kiribati, Kiribati Islands. Should have been on this. दिख नहीं रहा मुझे. I think I'll get another map on this. This atlas, oh, there's a shortened one. बहुत सारे editions होते हैं. Does your atlas have anybody? Show that to me. What they have done is, no, in the part of this competitive exams में, they have changed some of the atlases. Yes, इसमें, correct. It's not as visible. It's not as visible, not as clear, but still you can make some sense. Online, can you see some bit of it, if not completely? Okay. So the date line is here like this. Okay. It bends here. This is the sea called as Chakchi Sea here. It again bends like this. So this is the Bering Sea. It goes along 180-degree longitude here. This is where we have the Kiribati Islands. So ऐसे change हुआ like this, like this, like this. Okay. Oh. Here. So this is the Kiribati Island here. This, you come down again bend a bit, यहाँ पर भी islands हैं, and then it again bends. Just know this. So to mark is these islands north में, these are called as the Aleutian Islands. ये Aleutian Islands हैं, and this sea is called as the Chakchi Sea. This gap is called as the Bering Strait. Bering Strait, Bering Sea, Aleutian Islands. Okay, it bends here, again comes down and moves down like this. And यहाँ पर you have the Kiribati Islands. Okay, it bends from here. Just have an idea. No questions asked again on this, but go back and you can see it. Okay, so क्विकली आपके डायग्राम में, this is the Bering Sea. This gap is called as the Bering Strait. Okay. For this part, it is 180 degree, okay, meridian. And then I said, यहाँ पे islands हैं. Some islands are here. This is an island called as the Kiribati Islands. The Kiribati Islands, which are on the west of the international date line. Okay, so that's about nothing else. Now, one fact here, if this is the globe and this is the meridian, this is the 0 degree meridian. As I move on this side, the time is ahead. Okay, because the earth spins like that. Okay, when looking from the top, agar ye top hai, ye pole hai, the earth spins, okay, such that this part sees the sunlight first and then this part sees the sunlight. Okay, so this side, the time is ahead, and on this side, okay, time is behind. Time is behind. Okay. So, for example, if on this line, upon this line, it is 10 a.m. on this side, okay, आगे चलेगा. It's probably 11 a.m. It is 12 a.m. It is maybe 1 p.m. and so on. On this side, okay, this is, okay, probably 9 a.m., it is 8 a.m., it is 7 a.m. and so on. So you move on this side, the time is ahead. On this side, the time is behind. Achha. The rule is that it is 1 hour ahead for every 15 degree longitude. For every 15 degree, you have to add 1 hour. Another 15 degree, add another 1 hour. And on this side, for every 15 degrees, for the, are you all able to hear me well? Online? Online? Yes? Yes? Mansura, Smriti, Shivangi, are you all able to hear me? Smriti, you say the voice is getting distorted? But it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So I repeat, 15 degree, it is 1 hour difference for every 15 degrees. So on east of this line, okay, it is 1 hour add करते चले जाओगे. On this side, you have to, okay, deduct 1 hour on this side. Okay. Now, I told yesterday, the time is ahead का मतलब है, a person will lose time. This is the main mistake we make. So on this side, okay, a person loses time. On this side, a person gains time. Okay. The watch is behind and the person gains time. The watch is ahead and the person loses time. ठीक है? अच्छा, now. So say this is Monday. Okay. Monday 12 a.m. Then Monday maybe 1 p.m. Monday 2 p.m. Monday 6 p.m. Monday night 10 p.m. When you hit the date line, okay, it has to be, okay, back by 1 day. आई रिपीट, अदरवाइज क्या होगा ना, वो बढ़ता चला जाएगा. So if this is the 0-degree meridian, when I cross the date line from this side, okay, so imagine, say this is say a point on this side. On this side is, say it is Monday morning, maybe 1 a.m. ठीक है, एकदम जस्ट आफ्टर मिडनाइट. इस तरफ क्या होगा, पीछे चल रहा होगा. दिस प्रोबेबली इज संडे, मे बी नाइट, ओके, 11 p.m. मेक सेंस ऑल ऑफ यू हियर? ओके, सो व्हेन यू गो ऑन दिस साइड, ओके, यू कीप ऑन एडिंग टाइम, बट व्हेन यू क्रॉस द डेट लाइन, आपको एक डे कम करना पड़ेगा, अदरवाइज यू विल कीप ऑन एडिंग अप. नो, if you move from this side, the time is moving back, it's moving back, but when you cross the date line, you will add 1 day. That's the difference. Okay, so one point is moving east from 0-degree meridian, moving east from 0-degree meridian, time is ahead, but when crossing the IDL from west to east, when crossing IDL from west to east, there is okay, a loss of a day, or there is a day that is behind. Okay, so moving east from here, आप इधर से ईस्ट जा रहे हो, you are moving ahead in terms of time, but when you cross the date line, so ये वाला होगा western side, ये होगा eastern side. Okay, so from west, okay, ये आपका east था, say this is the date line. Okay, आप इधर से आ रहे हो, okay, when you cross from here to here, it is 1 day behind. ठीक है? So when you're moving eastwards from the 0-degree meridian, you're ahead in time, but when you cross from west towards east, okay, you are 1 day behind. तो यहां अगर मंडे चल रहा होगा तो यहां कितना हो जाएगा, संडे. You are 1 day behind. Okay, and similarly, if you are moving on this side, if you are moving west of the meridian, prime meridian, you are behind the clock, but when you cross from east towards west, okay, the day will be ahead. Okay, so next लिख लो आप. Moving, number 2, moving, okay, west of the prime meridian, moving west of the prime meridian, okay, time is behind, but when crossing the IDL from east to west, moving west of the prime meridian, the time is behind. But when crossing IDL from east to west, there is a day, okay, added. There is a day added. Okay. So इसी में, So if you are on this side, you are moving westwards, ऐसे आप ऐसे आ रहे हो, but यहां पहुंचकर you are moving from east towards the west. तो यहां पर अगर okay, this is say for example Thursday, if you cross on this side, it's going to be Friday. Online, is it okay, all of you now? Is it fine? This is the IDL. IDL. So, ऐसे move करोगे, the time is behind. ऐसे move करोगे, the time is ahead. But when you cross like this, it is one day behind. When you cross like this, it is one day ahead. I hope there is no problem in this. Any questions, anybody? Any questions, anybody? 10, 12 years ago, they would ask some questions on date and time. Last couple of years, they have not been asking any questions on date and time. But I think you should know this. Some date time questions आपका CSAT में बनता है, but वो अलग type of questions होंगे, not these type of questions. Just have an idea, that's all. Online, is it all fine? Online? Okay, fine, ठीक है. Now let's move towards the local time and the standard meridian in India. Local time and the standard meridian in India. इस पे कुछ questions बन सकते हैं. Why? Because थोड़ा news में रहा है. Okay, so you can have some questions on this. Okay, now our reference standard meridian for India is 82 and a half degree east longitude. Okay, the reference meridian for India is 82 and a half degree east longitude, and this longitude reflects 5.5 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, the GMT hai, which is the prime meridian hai. If this is the earth, this is the prime meridian. So India is somewhere here. Okay, and say this is 82.5 degree east line. So yahan par agar say it is morning 12 a.m. This is 5.5 hours ahead. This is 5 hours and 30 minutes a.m. आगे चल रहा है. Okay, so in India the standard meridian is this one, and it is 5.5 hours ahead. Now, ये जो line है, this line passes through, anybody knows which place? It passes through, yes, Mirzapur. Okay, it also passes from very near Nagpur. Okay, so this is passing through Mirzapur, not very far away from Varanasi. वहां से पास करता है, and we have taken this as our standard line. Okay, but then and this gives us, this is the basis of India's local time. This is the basis of India's local time. Okay, but if you look at India, India is a large country, and its east-west longitudinal distance, east-west longitude distance is approximately 30 degrees. अगर आप एकदम टिप लेके चलते हो इंडिया का, okay, say you have this part here and यहाँ पर you have the northeastern part here. अगर आप एकदम western side, the eastern side आप देखते हो, okay, the distance is approximately 30 degrees. Okay, west में, in the west, we have the longitude of 68.7 degrees. ये western limit of India है, 68 degrees and 7 minutes. And on the eastern side, the limit is 97 degrees and 25 minutes. 97 degrees and 25 minutes. This is the east-west extent of India. तो अगर ये डिफरेंस देखोगे, अप्रोक्सीमेटली 30 डिग्रीज का डिफरेंस है. एंड 30 डिग्रीज का मतलब क्या है? हाउ मेनी आवर्स? 2 आवर्स. सो इफ यू लुक एट द टाइम इन टर्म्स ऑफ द ग्रीनिच मीन टाइम, द डिफरेंस ऑफ हियर टू हियर इज गोइंग टू बी 2 आवर्स डिफरेंस. हमने क्या किया है? वी हैव टेकन अ स्टैंडर्ड लाइन इन बिटवीन, ओके, एंड वी हैव सेड ऑल ऑफ देम विल हैव the same local time. Write down. The 30 degrees difference. The 30 degrees difference is 2 hours of difference. The 30 degrees difference, east and west mein, is 2 hours of difference between the western and the eastern limit of India. Between the western and the eastern limit of India. अगर local time हटा देते हो, अगर this is 10 a.m. according to Greenwich Mean Time, this end is going to be 12 a.m. according to, okay, sorry, because ये 10 है, तो आगे 12 a.m. according to the Greenwich Mean Time. ठीक है, ये आगे चल रहा है. Remember this. Okay, 12 p.m. sorry, not a.m. 12 p.m. अगर ये 10 a.m. है, तो ये होगा 12 p.m. आफ्टरनून हो चुका है. इफ दिस इज 8 a.m. दिस इज गोइंग टू बी 10 a.m. 2 घंटा आगे. बट व्हाट वी हैव डन इज वी हैव टेकन ओके 1 मेरिडियन एज स्टैंडर्ड टाइम. राइट, नेक्स्ट. बिफोर 1906 India had 3 meridians as time reference. India had 3 meridians as time reference. इंडिया में एक बॉम्बे टाइम था, इंडिया में एक मद्रास टाइम था, और एक इंडिया में कलकत्ता टाइम था. इंडिया had 3 local times before 1906. We had a Bombay time, we had a Madras time, and we had a Calcutta time. 1906 we decided that now we must change it and make it only 1 meridian. Okay, so having 1 meridian, okay, is very convenient for standardization of time for the whole country. Having 1 meridian is convenient for time standardization for the whole country. अगर ट्रेन चल रही है, starts at 10, reaches at whatever, पूरे इंडिया का एक ही लोकल टाइम है. Okay, aircrafts है, times हैं, offices हैं, so you have got 1 time. But the problem is that because of this, what happens is there is some problem in the working hours. Imagine here, this is India, and say local time here, okay, is say 5 a.m. Okay, if I go by local time, if 5 a.m. hai, this is some place in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, if I go by Greenwich Mean Time, okay, maybe this is 1 hour ahead. बट लोकली हम बोल रहे हैं यहां भी 5 AM है. ओके, थिंक ऑफ विंटर्स में 5 AM से दिल्ली, 5 AM दिल्ली, इट इज स्टिल डार्क. ठीक है, बट यहां पर आगे चल रहा है ना. ओके, दिस एरिया इज ऑलरेडी ब्राइट, यहां मॉर्निंग हो चुका है, बट ऑफिसेस खुला नहीं है. व्हाई? बिकॉज 5 AM में कौन खोलेगा? ओके, द ऑफिस इज ओपन व्हेन दिल्ली हैज से 9 AM. यहां पर और आगे बढ़ चुका है टाइम. ओके, सो हियर, ओके, यू ऑलरेडी हैव अ सनलाइट फॉर अप्रोक्सीमेटली 3 to 4 hours हो चुका है, एंड यू स्टार्टिंग द डे अ बिट लेट हियर. ओके, एंड यहां पर ऑफिस कब खत्म होगा? द ऑफिस गेट्स ओवर एट से 5 PM. ओके, 5 PM तक यहां पर डार्क हो चुका है. थिंक ऑफ विंटर्स. ओके, यहां पर तो और डार्क हो चुका है, राइट? ओके, सो दे कांट क्लोज द ऑफिस अंटिल यहां पर भी हो चुका है 5 PM. इन रियलिटी दिस एक्चुअली इज नाउ नाइट. सो इफ people must work here, they must work here using more and more of, okay, artificial light. So because of one local time, the day here starts late and the day continues late also, and there is more consumption of electricity. Okay, say yahan par, if I could start the day early, I can finish the day before I must switch on the lights. This is one problem that we have. At this point down, the northeast regions of India, start the official working hours. The northeastern parts of India start the official working hours in reference to the standard meridian of India, and hence they actually start the day late. And continue working late in the evening after sunset. They continue working late in the evening after sunset, and thus consuming more electricity. ठीक है? This is a type of inefficiency in energy use. This is a type of inefficiency in energy use. I hope all got the point here. Okay. But जब यहां पर सनराइज हो रहा है, in this part सनराइज हो चुका है. Okay. Here the people are still sleeping, and here the work can start, but आप start कर नहीं रहे हो. Okay. So here the day starts when 9 AM, और जबकि actually if you go by Greenwich Mean Time, this has already become 10 AM. Okay. So I have lost 1 hour of work here. And when this is dark by 5 PM, this is already more dark by 6 PM. So then they must work late. So if this place has, okay, 9 to 5, यहां पर एक्चुअली काम इज 10 to 6. You're starting the day late and ending the day late. So imagine if these guys can also start at 9 and finish at 5. Okay. Then probably the consumption, yes, they can start early. Then the consumption of electricity would not be bad. So we need some adjustments on this. Like this is one problem that we have. खासकर because India is east-west elongated. तो ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा if a country is north-south elongated. उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगा. When a country is broad country, then we have an issue. Write down. There are various ways to address this. There are various ways to address this. Number one is, India can have 2 time zones. Countries like Russia have 11 time zones. India can have 2 time zones. We can have an Western time and an Eastern time. ये एक proposal है. India can have 2 time zones. Okay, we can have Western time and we can have Eastern time. Okay, this is however very complicated for India. It's very complicated for India. Okay, जो टाइम वगैरह सारा शिफ्ट हो जाएगा आपका. Second is, India can shift its standard meridian eastwards. India can shift its standard meridian eastwards to 90 degree east. Can shift its standard meridian eastwards to 90 degrees east. आप 7 डिग्री और आगे कर लो, 7.5 डिग्री. सो आप क्या होगा, ग्रीनिच मीन टाइम से अब 6 घंटा आगे हो जाओगे. ओके, सो राइट नाउ इफ दिस द कंट्री हियर, आई एम सेइंग राइट नाउ माय मेरिडियन इज 82.5 डिग्रीज है. हम बोले कि इसको आप चेंज करके आप 90 डिग्रीज में कर लो. ओके, 90 डिग्रीज का मतलब क्या, आपने 7.5 डिग्री ऐड किया. रिमेंबर आई सेड 15 डिग्रीज में इट इज 1 hour. If you add 7.5 degrees, you have added how many? 30 minutes. अभी कितना आगे है? 5.5 hours आगे है. यहां कितना आगे हो जाएगा? 6 hour आगे हो जाएगा. उससे क्या होगा? नॉर्थ ईस्ट में इतना बड़ा गैप नहीं रहेगा. Write down this point here. If this is done, अगर you shift the meridian to 90 degrees, this is near Kolkata. If we shift it, then Indian local time will be 6 hours ahead of GMT. India's local time will be 6 hours ahead of the GMT. Okay, and the northeastern parts of India can start their day relatively earlier. आधा घंटा पहले शुरू कर सकते हैं. They can start their day relatively earlier. Okay, this is one of the solutions. A third solution is called as daylight saving method. Daylight saving method. Okay. This is a technique which is used in the US. A method that is used in the US. Okay. Now, listen to this, I'll give you the notes. Say this is some country. Say the local meridian here tells me 10 a.m. If I go by this, okay, this is also 10 a.m. but actually ये आगे चल रहा है. Okay, so here it is showing me 10 a.m. local time. However, this is actually ahead. ठीक, is actually ahead. So now what we can do is जो लोग इस तरफ हैं, okay, say I must wake up at 10 a.m. for example. बट मैं देख रहा हूं कि 10 a.m. में उठने से इट्स एक्चुअली वेरी वेरी ब्राइट. आई मस्ट वेक अप अर्ली, करेक्ट? वेक अप अर्ली का मतलब क्या है? शुड आई एडवांस माई क्लॉक और शुड माई मेक माई क्लॉक ओके बिहाइंड? व्हाट शुड आई डू? इफ आई हैव ए क्लॉक हियर एंड आई वांट टू वेक अप अर्ली, ओके, व्हाट शुड आई डू? घड़ी को आगे करना चाहिए, घड़ी को पीछे करना चाहिए? Tell me. It's like, मैं हर दिन जो है, I am waking up late every day. If my father must wake me early, what he must do? मेरा घड़ी आगे करेंगे या पीछे कर देंगे? आगे कर देंगे, right? Hope you got the point here? Okay. So my watch is showing 7. What my father will do is he'll make it show 7:30 so that I can wake up half an hour earlier. समझ में आ रहा है यहाँ पर? So if I want these places, okay, to use the time because the sunrise is earlier, so these places must have their watches moved ahead. ये प्रॉब्लम होता कब है? ये विंटर्स में होता है या समर्स में होता है? When the problem bigger? Winters में. So what we do is just before the winter starts, okay, these locations can be told कि आप अपना घड़ी आगे कर लो. And just before the summer starts, आप घड़ी को वापस पीछे कर लो. Did you all get the point here? This is called as daylight saving method. It is done in the US. They have a Pacific time and they have, okay, an Eastern time. The Eastern time is along the Atlantic regions. The Pacific time is for California and the rest. और ये change होता है in the winters. In the winters, okay, the Eastern ones are forced to advance the clock. And summers के पहले ये वापस डाल देते हैं right time पे, along with their local times. Right down here, okay. So this daylight saving method, okay. The first point here is in the winters, when the northeastern regions have early sunrise, they can benefit from it. They can benefit from it when the watches are set ahead. When the watches are set ahead by 30 minutes or 1 hour. By 30 minutes or by 1 hour. Okay. And then the watches are reset back. The watches are reset back. Okay. When the daylight saving is not required. Is it okay, all of you? Not required. This method is followed in the US. This method is followed in the US. Okay. With a different Eastern time and a Pacific time. Different Eastern time and a Pacific time. Write down, in some parts of Bengal, in the tea gardens, this type of time adjustment is already practiced. This type of time adjustment is already practiced. It's called as chai bagan time. It's called as a chai, C-H-A-I, chai bagan time. Is it okay, all of you? It's called as the chai bagan time. Okay. But there are problems in operationalizing this for India. But there are problems in operationalizing this in India. So the best alternative for India is to shift the standard meridian to 90 degree east. To shift the standard meridian to 90 degree ईस्ट। ठीक है, तो ये 3 ऑप्शन है। You can either have 2 time zones, or you can have daylight saving method, or you can have the shift in the meridian itself. उससे क्या होगा ना, एक कंट्री में इन जनरल स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन रहेगा। सत्यम, अरे when this is say night 4 a.m. northeast में already it is 5 a.m. Satyam, okay, when it is 4 a.m. along the standard meridian of India, okay, northeast में अगर आप सनराइज देखोगे, एक्चुअली ये आगे चल रहा है। So before I get sunrise here, this area has already got its sunrise. ये मिल चुका है इसको sunrise already. Okay, that's why I'm saying the sunrise here is earlier than sunrise here. ठीक है? Okay, fine. So that's about the time, standard time, ideal, increase of time, and so on. Now let's move on towards concepts related to axial tilt, day night cycles and seasons. Concepts related to axial tilt, day night cycles and seasons. Now these questions are going to be a bit more conceptual. Okay, it's very easy concept. It's just about imagining it properly and then trying to answer the questions. Okay, pehle sun lo, all of you listen to this first. This is our earth and this is the vertical axis. Okay, the rotation is like this, it turns from west towards the east, and these are the latitudes, equator, ये latitudes हैं, and say the sun is shining on this side. Okay, सबसे पहले I have got sunrise here, then this turns, then I get sunrise here, it turns further, I get sunrise here. So the earth spins from west towards the east like this, and the sunrise is progressively like this. That's why I'm saying the parts in the east are ahead. As you move towards the west, the time is behind. Okay? I think no problem with that. Now, because the sun is shining from this side, this half, if I draw a line here, this half has daytime and this half has nighttime. And when I say half, means the entire half of the hemisphere. Okay, so think of this as a globe. Okay, say on this side, sun is shining. Okay, the sun is shining like this. So what happens is this entire half, which is from here right up to piche tak. Okay, so it's like this one. Say from here right yahan tak, the entire half is daytime, and piche the entire half is the night time. Okay, so when you see this, this is, imagine कि ये पूरा आधा है, आधा of a sphere. The entire half, it has daytime, the entire half has nighttime. And this line that divides the day and the night, it's called as the circle of illumination. Okay, so if this is the earth here and the sun shines like this from front, so then there is a line here, there's a line on this side, एक ऐसा पूरा गोल लाइन बनेगा. Okay, where On this side, it's all day, okay, and this side, it's all night. That is this line called as the circle of illumination. Okay. I'm imagining right now कि Earth पूरा vertical, the axis is vertical like this, and the circle of illumination and the axis are on the same plane. Can you all imagine here? ये सब एक ही plane में है. Okay. Earth का axis vertical ऐसे, Earth का axis is a vertical line है, and there is a plane passing through this. ऐसे एक plane pass कर रहा है. Okay. So the axis and the plane are on the same line. It's a straight line like this, a straight plane here. Okay. Because of which this circle of illumination is dividing the latitude into two equal halves. Two equal halves. The length of this line is same as the length of this line. The length of this line is same as length of. So यहां से यहां जितना लेंथ है, यहां से यहां भी उतना ही लेंथ है. From here to here जितना लेंथ है, from here to here also same length. Okay? If the earth takes 24 hours to rotate, which means the day side is 12 hours and the night side is 12 hours. यहां तक ठीक है all of you? A vertical earth, I repeat, a vertical earth, okay, the sun shining from one side, the circle of illumination is a vertical line, it is having the same plane as the axis of the earth, and this line of illumination divides the earth into two equal halves. One half, okay, the length of the latitude is same as the other half length of latitudes. Because दोनों का length same है, therefore this side has 12 hours day and this side has 12 hours night. Is it okay till here all of you? Any questions on this? Any questions? All fine here? Okay. In reality, the axis is not perfectly vertical. Online, please keep confirming as I'm asking you. I said, बड़ा easy topic है. If you have got the concepts right, you'll have no problem. और एक बार सुन लोगे ना, आपको ये पूरा लाइफ सारा याद रहेगा. If you have got it right. Okay, then there's no questions of debate and discussions here. Okay. Fine, ठीक है. So keep letting me know. Okay, as you have a problem, ask me, I'll repeat. But what happens in reality is, the axis is not perfectly vertical. The axis is slightly tilted like this. So ये नहीं होकर, what I actually have is, the earth is having, okay, so this was the vertical line of axis, अब थोड़ा सा tilted है. The axis is actually tilted like this. Because of tilt, okay, remember, the meridians are always parallel like this. They're always parallel like this, okay. But the latitudes are now tilted to the horizontal plane. टेढ़ा हो गया. Okay. This should have been the plane which is horizontal. यहां पर भी प्लेन हॉरिजॉन्टल है, okay, बट यहां पर टिल्ट हो गया. बिकॉज ऑफ टिल्ट, नाउ सी यहां पर क्या है, okay, दिस इज द सर्कल ऑफ इल्यूमिनेशन. द सन इज स्टिल शाइनिंग हियर. नाउ यू टेल मी नाउ, द सर्कल ऑफ इल्यूमिनेशन, will that be along the axis or will it be straight vertical line? ठीक है, ऑनलाइन इज इट ओके? यस. तो सर्कल ऑफ इल्यूमिनेशन जो है वो अभी भी वर्टिकल लाइन ही रहेगा. रिमेंबर दिस. दिस इज द सर्कल ऑफ इल्यूमिनेशन. इसमें क्या था, सर्कल एंड द एक्सिस आर कोइंसाइडिंग, यहां पर नहीं हो रहा है। यहां पर क्या था, द लेंथ ऑफ डे एंड द लेंथ ऑफ नाइट वाज सेम, द लेंथ ऑफ डे एंड द लेंथ ऑफ नाइट वाज सेम। यहां पर क्या है, अगर ये सब इल्यूमिनेशन है, द लेंथ ऑफ डे इज दिस and the length of night is this. The length of the day is this. The length of the night is this. So this is the length of the day and this is the length of the night. Okay. This is the length of the night. Not responding. This is the length of the night here and this is the length of the day. यहां पर ये length of day है and this is the length of the night. Length of the night and this is the length of the day. Okay, they were same, but यहां पर दिख रहा है आपको, day is now longer, night is now shorter. If I keep on doing this, when you reach the equator, okay, ये जो equator line है, because it's passing through center here, यहां पर the length of the day and the length of the night यहां पर equal होगा. This is equal to this only for the equator. Okay, so what does the tilt of the axis do? The tilt of the axis, okay, changes the length of the day and the night except for the equator. अच्छा, जितना ज्यादा tilt होगा, what will happen? The inequalities will be all the more. Okay, so if I continue with this diagram, say if the tilt is, if this is the earth here, okay, this is the vertical line of illumination and the tilt is even more here. Okay, so imagine this is the longitude now. These are the longitudes now. Can you imagine here? Okay, these are the longitudes here. यहां पर क्या है? I have one part day, one part night. But यहां देखो, okay, for this latitude, ये तो पूरा day है ना? There is no night time at all. And for this latitude, it is only night time. There is no daytime here. Okay? So this is what is happening when we talk about the tilt of the earth. What does the tilt of the earth do? The tilt of the earth changes the length of the day and night. ठीक है? Write down now 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? The heading was the tilt of the earth, the day-night cycles and the seasons. What does it do? The first point. If Earth's axis was vertical, okay, then the circle of illumination would be in the vertical plane that has the vertical axis also. The circle of illumination would be in the vertical plane that has the vertical axis also. Okay. This would mean the length of the day and night at all latitudes, would have been same. the length of day and night at all latitudes would have been the same. So maybe you can draw this diagram if you have not drawn it. Vertical axis एकदम vertical है, इसी axis पे circle of illumination है, the latitudes are cut equal and the length of day is equal to the length of the night. Okay, vertical axis, length of day equal to length of the night. All done? Number 2. Number 2. Because of the tilt of the axis, because of the tilt of the axis, the circle of illumination plane, does not have the vertical axis. The circle of illumination plane does not have the vertical axis. Hence, the length of day and night, at all latitudes is not the same. The length of day and night at all latitudes is not the same. Except for the equator. Very important point, put a star mark. Equator always has equal days and equal nights. It always has equal days and equal nights. Because the circle of illumination always cuts it into two equal halves. The circle of illumination always cuts it into two equal halves. Okay. Equator, that's why we say, okay, does not have day-night variations across seasons. हमेशा इसका आधा day होगा, आधा night होगा. 12 hours day and 12 hours night. Okay, 12 hours day in any condition में, you'll have 12 hours day and 12 hours night. But all other latitudes will have unequal day and night. You can draw this diagram, please, all of you. Days and nights are unequal except for that at the equator. The length of line represents the length of the day or the night. Longer line, longer day, shorter line, shorter night. अगर साउथ में जाओगे, okay, you'll have longer nights. ये longer night हो गया. Okay, this is also longer night here, and the days are relatively shorter. Okay, so this is one of the issue of the axial tilt. Now, हमारा tilt, now all of you watch here. The tilt of the earth is how much? It is 20 3.5 to the vertical. To the horizontal, it will be 6.5. Okay. Now, because Earth का tilt ऐसा है, what happens is this latitude, this is the 66.5 degree north latitude, and this is the 66.5 degree south latitude. इस latitude के north में the entire latitude is towards the daytime, and this entire one is the night time. So if you go north of this, okay, you will have continuous only day. There is no night. And south of this, you will have continuous night. I will not have any day. ये value कैसे आता है? It's a bit of geometry here. This angle is 23.5 degrees, which means if the tilt is even more, okay, maybe the continuous day will happen at an earlier latitudes. This is what is called as the Arctic Circle, and this is called as the Antarctic Circle. Right next. Because Earth's axial tilt is 23.5 degrees to the vertical. 23.5 degrees to the vertical. The latitudes is 66.5 degrees north and south. The latitudes 66.5 degrees north and south. Mark the latitudes beyond which there is continuous day or continuous night. There is continuous day or continuous night in their respective seasons. What I mean by this is, अगर northern part summers है, I will have only day here. अगर northern part winter है, I will have only night here. If this is winters, I will have only night here. If this is summers, I will have only daytime here. Okay, write down. If the axial tilt changes, these latitudes representing continuous day or continuous night, these latitudes representing continuous day or continuous night for their respective seasons, will also change. Somebody asked me, sir, why is this number important? This number is important because of this axial tilt. अगर ये tilt change होगा तो ये number भी change हो जाएगा. It's something like, if it is zero tilt, क्या होने वाला है? There is no latitude which has continuous day and night. If the tilt is completely say 90 degrees, तब क्या होने वाला है? Entire hemisphere will have continuous day. I hope you got the point here. Okay. If the tilt, अभी tilt ये है, vertical है, and the sun is shining here, okay, and it is rotating, 12 hours day, 12 hours night. Imagine the earth was perfectly horizontal. Sun is here and earth is rotating like this. Will this part have night time anymore? You can all imagine? ऐसे rotation हो रहा है. Okay, and the sun is shining here. So this half will have continuous daylight, no? जब ऐसे घूम रहा है वर्टिकल में, ये पार्ट डे हो रहा है, पीछे वाला पार्ट नाइट हो रहा है. अगर एक्सिस आपका हॉरिजॉन्टल हो गया ऐसे, तो इसमें ऐसे घूमेगा, राइट? ऐसे घूमेगा, तो दिस हाफ is always toward the sun. It will not have any night. But what we have is something like this. So we have a longer day and a shorter night. अगर एक्सिस ऐसे है, sun is on this side, I will have, okay, this part is having day and this part will have night. If you look at the vertical axis here, this will become shorter. Okay, so imagine the sun is here. Okay, imagine the sun is here and the earth's axial tilt is like this. फिर ये इक्वेटर है. Then this is, okay, the circle of illumination. यहां देखो, this part has a longer night and this part has a shorter day. ठीक है? Is all clear, all of you? अगर ये इधर होता है तो डे इज लॉन्गर, अगर इधर होता है द डे इज शॉर्टर. ओके, सो द लेंथ ऑफ डे डिपेंड्स ऑन द एक्सियल टिल्ट्स विद द सन. ओके, नेक्स्ट साइड डाउन, नेक्स्ट साइड डाउन. Change in the axial tilt, change in the axial tilt will therefore impact the day and nights, the day and the nights. Will impact day and nights and the seasons. Now, give a subheading, the concept of seasons क्या है? The concept of seasons, what does that mean? What is the concept of the seasons? Online, all with me. You must revise once more for this, settle down. Can anybody tell me, what does the idea called seasons mean? Anybody can tell me? Yeah. What does the idea called seasons mean? अगर समझा रहे हो किसी को आप, अब क्या बोलोगे? Yeah? Anybody? Earth's revolution. What does the concept of season mean? Change in temperature because of tilt and revolution. You're right, not wrong. My question to you is, if Earth was tilted, okay, but there was no revolution, would I have seasons? ये sun है, okay, and the Earth was tilted, but Earth घूम नहीं रहा है, will I have seasons? Okay. Second question, if Earth was not tilted and Earth had revolutions, would we have seasons? दो केस है. Okay. There is a tilt but no revolution. There is no tilt and there was revolution. Will I have seasons here and will I have seasons here? समझ में आ रहा है? यहाँ पर क्या पता आंसर क्या? यहाँ पे क्या होगा? Season yes or no? There is a tilt but no revolution. Will I have seasons? No. There is no tilt and there is revolution. Will I have seasons here? No. तो आप बताओ फिर seasons है क्या? What does the term seasons mean? So if I give you one choice, which is more important for seasons? Tilt or revolution? ये समझ में आ गया ना? आई नीड बोथ, टिल्ट भी चाहिए और रेवोल्यूशन भी चाहिए. आई नीड बोथ. बट इफ आई आस्क यू वन ऑफ देम, which is more important for seasons? Which is more important for revolution? Now listen. If you look across the universe, okay, what is definitely there? Revolutions or tilt? If you look at the universe, हर बॉडी का क्या पक्का guaranteed है? Revolution. Okay. What varies across bodies is the tilt. So by that logic, what causes seasons? The tilt. I hope you got the point here. You must know how the questions are being framed. So if I ask you, what is the reason for seasons on earth? The fact is both tilt and revolution. Okay. But if I ask one word to you, you will say tilt. Because revolution तो given है, वो तो सबका होने वाला है. जो टिल्ट जो है वो करता है चेंज सीजन्स में. तो आपको ये समझ में आ रहा है ऑल ऑफ यू? नाउ माय क्वेश्चन टू यू इज व्हाट इज सीजन्स? अब आपको समझ में आ रहा है कि व्हाट फैक्टर्स कॉजेस सीजन्स. बट टेल मी इन वन सेंटेंस, व्हाट आर सीजन्स? ओके, सीजन्स आर एसेंशियली variations in temperature and length of day and night as a consequence of Earth's tilt while it is revolving. Okay, right on this point. I mean, see, this is an important check for anything you study. कि क्या वो concept को आप एक sentence में ढाल पा रहे हो कि नहीं? Can you tell somebody in one sentence or two sentences what we are discussing? Okay, so what are seasons? Seasons are variations in temperature and length of day and night. Variations in the temperature and the length of day and night because of Earth's tilt. Because of Earth's tilt. While it revolves around the sun. While it revolves around the sun. Yeah, Ganesh, you're right. Okay, change in climatic conditions. The right word, climate का क्या change हो रहा है? Temperatures change हो रहे हैं and the length of day and night is changing. ठीक है? So that's one. अच्छा, ना एक और चीज बताओ. Say this is the sun. Or watch, this is the sun and this is the earth. Okay? By revolution, the earth is going around the sun like this. But say, while revolving, right now, the earth is vertical. Vertical earth का मतलब है, the axis is not tilted. Okay? Now axis tilted. So when tilted axis, the north pole is towards the sun. And the south pole is away from sun. Say while revolving for some reason, okay, the tilt also starts varying. Okay, which is अभी ऐसा है, sun ये है, so घूमने टाइम में say the axis is like this now, towards the sun. So this is the axis here, okay? Let me assume this globe is the sun. Like ये ऐसे है. जब ये घूम रहा है तो अब ऐसे आकर ये टूवर्ड द सन हो गया. ओके, ये ऐसे आकर ये टूवर्ड द सन हो गया. इधर आकर ये टूवर्ड द सन हो गया. ओके, ये ऐसे वापस टूवर्ड सन हो गया. इज इट पॉसिबल? इट्स पॉसिबल. ओके, विल हैव सीजन्स नाउ. दिस इज टूवर्ड द सन, नॉर्थ पोल. While it's like think of a magnet thing. Okay, while revolving, the north pole continues to be towards the sun. ये भी towards the sun हो गया. Again towards the sun हो गया. We'll have seasons now. अब बताओ seasons किस लिए होता है? Is it axial tilt and revolution alone? Then what will I say now? Earth का tilt है. Earth revolve भी कर रहा है. And I'm saying while revolving by some mechanism, the north pole always faces the sun. Will I have seasons now? Will I have seasons? Will day night length change? Will it? Same रहेगी. तो seasons होगा कि नहीं होगा? नहीं होगा. Okay, because variations नहीं होगा आपका. Season is about variations across the months in a year. Okay, तो आप बताओ क्यों seasons होता है? Seasons is because tilt, and the tilt is constant. ये हमेशा ऐसा ही है. Okay, constancy of tilt ऐसा है. जब यहां आएगा ये तब भी ऐसा ही रहता है. जब यहां आता है तब भी ऐसा ही रहता है. और जब यहां आता है तब भी ऐसा ही रहता है. And then back here. अगर ये tilt while revolution change होता रहेगा, I will, and it always points at the same angle towards the sun, then I will not have seasons. So what happens is seasons are a consequence of changes in how the poles are either towards the sun or away from the sun. अगर कोई एक pole is always toward the sun at the same tilt, I will not have seasons again. Seasons variations है ना. Okay, so this is the sun here. This is right now north and south pole, both are equidistant. अगर tilt हो जाता है, the north pole is towards the sun. Okay, when it comes here, the south pole is towards the sun. When it is at this position, okay, अब बताओ which is towards the sun. जब ये ऐसे है तब सन कौन सा होगा? Watch again. In this position, the north pole is toward the sun. In this position, the south pole is toward the sun. So if I say I was to write down, okay, say N for S for south here, N for north. ये लिख लेता हूं मैं. This is south pole, this is north pole. Okay, so let me hold it like this. Okay, this is north, this is south. Okay, this is the north pole towards the sun. It comes here. The south pole towards the sun. When it comes here, तब क्या होगा बताओ? Say here like this. Which is toward the sun now? Neither north nor south. The equator is towards the sun. When it comes here, neither north nor south. Again, the equator is towards the sun. And that's how we show in terms of a diagram. हम diagram में क्या दिखाते हैं? बीच में sun है. Okay. So this is the axial tilt. North pole is towards the sun. This is the axial tilt. Okay. The south pole is towards the sun. When the earth is revolving and earth comes here, यहां आ गया, सामने आ गया. So I show it here. Okay. यहां पर क्या है? The equator is towards the sun. On other side again, the equator towards the sun. Okay. So the seasons are because of this. Earth's tilt, Earth's revolution, and the tilt direction is same always. Because of which the poles and the equator are towards the sun at different times of the year. So in some season, the north pole, because agar vertical hota, imagine, this is the sun here, and earth was vertical, ऐसे. So then north pole, south pole, equator. Okay, same. यहां पर भी vertical. The north pole, south pole, equator. When it is here, okay, the north pole, the south pole, और यहां से equator, again same. The difference happens when the tilt is there. When the tilt is there, the north pole is here, equator is here. The south pole is here, the equator is here. इस केस में, okay, the equator is towards the sun. You must imagine a three-dimensional diagram. ठीक है? तो ये पॉइंट लिखो आप. That the seasons the seasons are the consequence of. The seasons are the consequence of the poles and the equator. Are the consequence of the poles and the equator towards or away from the sun, towards or away from the sun at different times of the year. At different times of the year. If Earth was vertical, these variations would not happen. These variations would not happen. Is it okay, all of you here? Okay. Any questions? Any questions on this? Okay. Right next. Now you combine the circle of illumination concept with the season concepts. So what happens is, when the North Pole is toward the sun, okay, the northern part is more towards the sun. The circle of illumination जो है will have northern hemisphere में longer days and shorter nights. In the southern hemisphere, okay, I will have longer nights and shorter days. Right, next point. Depending upon which pole is towards the sun, the circle of illumination will cut the latitudes in such a way, that the hemisphere facing the sun will have longer days and shorter nights. The hemisphere facing the sun will have longer days and shorter nights. Okay, so when the North Pole is towards the sun, northern hemisphere has summers, and the northern hemisphere will have longer days and shorter nights. Okay, and the southern hemisphere, okay, will have winters and longer nights and shorter days. The northern hemisphere is toward the sun. The northern hemisphere will have summers, longer days are longer, nights are shorter. Southern hemisphere will have winters, longer nights and shorter days. See, some of these you all know maybe, or if you knew, maybe this is more like a revision. But ये important, and I'll give you the questions to understand how you can get trapped here. All go till here? The next point. Do you know what tropics are? Tropic का value कितना है? There is a tropic of Cancer and there is a tropic of Capricorn. क्या value है? 23.5 degrees north, 23.5 degrees south. अब बताओ ये है क्या चीज? ये value क्या है? एंगल ऑफ व्हाट? ये वैल्यू आया कहां से? व्हाट डज इट टेल अस? या रोटेशन. What does this number tell us? That Tropic of Cancer is 23.5. तो ये चीज है क्या? What is it telling us about Earth, Sun, whatever? Tilt. Yeah, of course. It's because of tilt. What does it tell us? Yeah? Heat. Yes, Satyam. Yeah? इक्वेटर तरह काम करेगा. यस, टू सम एक्सटेंट, बट कुछ और टर्म यूज करना चाहिए था आपको. नाउ वॉच हियर. यस, करेक्ट. ओके, नाउ लेट्स लुक एट दिस. इफ द अर्थ इज, यू आर राइट सत्यम एंड निशांत, यू आर राइट. इफ द अर्थ was vertical again, if earth is vertical, okay, the sun will always shine at the equator, assuming कि सारा एक ही प्लेन में है. ओके, अर्थ का इक्वेटर प्लेन, सन का इक्वेटर प्लेन एंड अर्थ का ऑर्बिटल प्लेन एक ही प्लेन है. देन इफ अर्थ इज वर्टिकल, द सन is shining directly at the equator. Okay, so this is the sun, this is the earth. ये axis vertical है. The sun rays are directly on equator and the angle is 90 degree. On any other latitude ये ऐसा नहीं है. Okay, बाकी जगह में slant होगा, whatever. ठीक है, इस पॉइंट में it is perfectly vertical. If the earth was perfectly horizontal and these are the latitudes, तब क्या होता? The sun would directly be at the poles. Okay, poles में the angle would be 90 degrees. I hope these two diagrams समझ में आ रहा है. Okay, if earth is vertical, the sun is shining directly at the equator. Surface में angle 90 है. In this case, it's 90 at the poles. Okay. What happens is when the earth is tilted, okay, so ये equator है. The sun is direct at some latitude. इस latitude पे it is 90 degrees. ठीक है. The tropics tells us this. The tropic marks, now see, North Pole towards the sun. ठीक है, जब वो उधर होगा, when it is on the other side, say this is the sun, on the other side है, the axial tilt remaining the same, say E axis है, ये equator है. So now the sun is shining directly over this. Is the sun actually moving? What's happening? पहले sun was shining at the northern hemisphere. Now the sun is shining on the southern hemisphere. Has the sun actually moved? What has happened? Okay, the earth has moved. Yes, tilt के वजह से. It looks like कि sun was north में, अब sun south में आ गया. दिखता है. Just imagine, if this is the tilt and the earth was perfectly horizontal, तो sun कहां शाइन कर रहा होता? North pole पे. अब ऐसे ही earth has revolved and come here, sun would shine perfectly at the south pole. Has the sun actually moved? No. It looks like कि sun पहले north hemisphere में था, अब south में आ गया. This line represents the southernmost limit जिसके beyond sun move नहीं करेगा. And this line represents the northernmost limit beyond which sun will not move. So what does, इसी को बोलते हैं tropic. This is the tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degrees north, and this is called as the tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees south. So what do the tropics represent? The tropics represent the northern and the southern limit within which the sun seems to move north and south. Now, the tropics represent the northern and the southern limit. The northern and the southern limit within which the sun seems to move north and south. The sun seems to move north and south when Earth revolves around the sun with its tilted axis. The Earth moves or revolves around the sun with its tilted axis. Okay? तो इसके नॉर्थ नहीं जाएगा सन. So this is the maximum limit up to which sun's rays will be perpendicular on the surface. North का maximum limit है. This is the maximum limit where the sun rays will be perpendicular in the southern hemisphere. Okay, that is the tropics mark the maximum limit of latitudes. The tropics mark the maximum limit of the latitudes beyond which the sun's rays are never perpendicular at any time of the year. Beyond which the sun's rays are never perpendicular at any time of the year. इसके नॉर्थ में अर्थ का सन का रेज ऑलवेज विल बी स्लैंट. ओके, यहां पर दिस इज 90, यहां पर ओके दिस सरफेस से इट्स गोइंग टू बी 90. ओके, सो व्हाट डज द ट्रॉपिक रिप्रेजेंट इज दिस. नाउ माय क्वेश्चन टू यू इज, if the Earth's tilt increases, okay, what will happen? The tropic limit will move towards the poles or become shorter. Okay, tropic का जो difference है 23 half north, 23 degree south, half south. The difference, okay, the range rather will increase the degrees. Right down here. If the Earth's axial tilt increases, the latitude range of the tropics will increase. If the axial tilt increases, the latitudinal range of the axial tilt will increase. The latitude range of the tropics will increase. I hope you got the point here. My question to all of you now. The length of the seasons. Watch, सुन लो पहले, ध्यान सुनो. The length of the seasons. Okay, summer, winters. The length of the seasons depends on what? It depends. If I want one factor, क्या बोलोगे आप? The tilt. The length of the seasons depends on what? Summer season, winter season. Of course, seasons are because of the tilt. Agreed. The length of the seasons कितने मंथ्स विंटर है और कितने मंथ्स समर है, ये किस पे डिपेंड करेगा? या अमाउंट ऑफ हीट, रेवोल्यूशन टाइम, ठीक है। अर्थ टेक्स हाउ मच टाइम टू रिवॉल्व? 12 मंथ्स, ठीक है। टिल्ट चेंज होने से समर का लेंथ नहीं चेंज होगा, ओके। The length in terms of the months depends on the revolution time. If Earth revolves faster, okay, the length, the time of summer will change, will become shorter. कुछ जल्दी मूव कर जाएगा ना। So what does the tilt do? Does the tilt increase the length of the seasons? What does the tilt do? What does it do? It increases the temperatures, high temperatures of the latitudes. मतलब अभी यहां पर समर्स तो है, बट इतना ज्यादा गर्मी नहीं है। जब ये टिल्ट होगा तो यहां पर ज्यादा गर्मी हो जाएगा। So if the tilt changes, okay, what will change is the average summer or winter temperatures of the hemispheres. Okay, जितना ज्यादा टिल्ट होगा उतना ज्यादा पोलवर्ड्स तक गर्मी होगा। Look at point this, at this point here. The length of the seasons, the length of the season in terms of months, is not a function of tilt. Is not a function of tilt. It is a function of Earth's revolution time. Is not a function of tilt, it's a function of Earth's revolution time. The tilt decides the contrast of temperatures. The contrast of temperatures between the winters and the summers. Decide the contrast of temperatures between the winters and the summers, and the average temperatures of the seasons. Average temperatures of the seasons. Okay, it's like, imagine again, आप हमेशा imagine करो with the extreme in mind कि अर्थ अगर वर्टिकल होता, ओके, अर्थ इफ इट वॉज वर्टिकल, देन ओके देयर इज नो सीजन्स, एंड दिस साइड टुवर्ड्स द सन, घूम के इधर आएगा, अवे फ्रॉम सन, कोई वेरिएशंस नहीं होने वाला आपका। बट बिकॉज यू हैव टिल्ट, so like this one, this is far more hotter maybe than this. So this is I'm saying 20 degrees north and this is 20 degrees south. Okay, ये जो summer है is far more hotter than this one. Okay, and when you have got like this is 20 north and this is 20 south. Okay, ये समर है और ये विंटर है। सो ये जो विंटर टेम्परेचर एंड समर टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस होगा आपका। ओके, इमेजिन दिस वाज परफेक्टली हॉरिजॉन्टल। ओके, सो दिस विल बी फार्दर अवे इन द विंटर्स, करेक्ट? सो व्हाट विल चेंज इन द टिल्ट इज not the length of the season, what will change is the contrast of the seasons. The summers in the northern side will be far more hotter, or winters the winters will be far more cooler. Okay, so what questions they ask depends on how you understand the tilts, the revolution, and this circle of illumination thing. All good here? Okay, right next. Give a subheading, changes in the axial tilt. Give a subheading, changes in the axial tilt. Right now, Earth's axial tilt is 23.5 degrees. Right now, Earth's axial tilt is 23.5 degrees with the vertical. There are two types of fluctuations. Number one is the angle of the tilt can change. The angle of the tilt can change from about 21 degrees to as much as 24.5 degrees to the vertical. अभी tilt कितना है? It is 23.5 degrees. What I'm saying is, this tilt can change between 21 degrees and as much as 24.5 degrees. Tilt can change like this. इस change को क्या बोलते हैं? Anybody knows a term? It's called as obliquity. It's called as obliquity. And this change can happen once in 40,000 years. ये change होता है once in 40,000 years. It's called as obliquity change. The tilt of the angle can change. This is one type of variation. The second type of variation is the direction of the tilt can change without the angle itself. The direction of the tilt can change without the angle itself. Imagine this. Say this tilt is say 10 degrees or direction है towards some light here. The same tilt to maintain करते हुए, say the angle is now like this. This is a three-dimensional diagram, no? This was the tilt. ये vertical है. Vertical से it is 10 degrees. मैं यही angle रखूंगा और इसको ऐसे घुमा दूंगा. Is it possible? So the angle has not changed. What has changed is the direction has changed. So right now, it points towards the North Star. Keeping the angle same, this can shift towards star Vega. So, ये ऐसे घूम सकता है in the horizontal plane. It can turn like this. Okay? So right now, और ये दोनों एंगल सेम है. ये भी 23.5 है और ये भी 23.5 है. Keeping the angle same, the direction of the tilt can change. This change is called as precession. It's called as the precession change. Precession, precession change. तो आप बताओ, when we have obliquity change, what will change on the earth? And when we have precession change, what will change on the earth? पहले इसके बताओ. मैंने बताया आपको, if the tilt angle changes, what will happen? The tropic latitudes will change. The summer and winter contrast will change. जितना ज्यादा टिल्ट होगा उतना ज्यादा कंट्रास्ट होगा. Write down this point. In obliquity variations, the location of the tropics will change. The location of the tropics, or the latitude of the tropics will change. And the summer-winter contrast will change. The summer-winter contrast will change. अभी समझाया आपको मैंने? Okay. यही समझाने के लिए I had to take up all that route. Okay. You just need one sentence. And these are some of the factors of natural climate change also. Climate change is not always because of human factors. Historically, climate change का वजह ये भी is also called as the Earth-Sun geometry also. Okay, so it can change because of the changes in the Earth's axial tilt. Number 2. Now, what will happen in case of angle remaining the same, but the direction of the tilt changing? अब क्या होगा इससे बताओ. Now, for that, okay, let's understand this. This is sun. Say the tilt is like this, the tilt is like this, the tilt is here, and the tilt is here. ठीक है? This is right now southern summers. This is the northern summers. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Anybody knows the positions here? We call this as summer solstice. We call this as winter solstice. Dates पता है आपको? When does summer solstice happen? This is June 21st. When does winter solstice happen? December 22nd या 23rd. Depends on leap year. ठीक है, most of us know 22nd December. My question to you is, why is it called as solstice? ये term का meaning क्या है? Yeah? First day of sunshine. What does the word solstice mean? Term कहां से आता है? So watch all of you. This is the earth. This is the earth here. Or maybe draw this diagram. ये sun है, ये earth है. Okay. Because of tilt, sometimes the sun seems to be here. Sometimes the sun seems to be here. Sometimes the sun seems to be here. Okay. The sun seems moving south and then back north and then back south and back north. Correct? Okay. हमें लगता है कि sun ऊपर जा रहा है, फिर नीचे आ रहा है, फिर ऊपर जा रहा है. It goes on like this. Okay. Something moving northwards will keep on moving north, will stop, will start moving south will stop, and all apparent. Understand? होता नहीं actually. It's all apparent. South it stops, again moves northward. ये जो north जाकर ये रुक गया and then comes down south, ये रुकने को बोलते हैं solstice. The word solstice means standing still. Okay, this is where the sun seems to stand still in the south for some time and then start moving northwards. This is when the sun seems to stand still in the north for some time and then starts moving southwards. Okay, so this is the meaning of the word solstice. The solstice marks the northernmost journey of the sun, and the southernmost journey of the sun. Okay, so solstice का मतलब होता है sun standing still. before the shift in the apparent motion happens. Sun इसके north जाएगा नहीं. Okay, so if I again rephrase the question, what will happen when the axial tilt changes? What will change? The solstice. Okay, what will change? The solstice, dates will change, or the solstice का latitude will change. Latitude will change. Date तो ये रहेगा. ठीक है. The time will change only when the revolution time changes. So when the sun is, the earth is tilted more, okay, it is still summer solstice. What will change is the northernmost tropic limit of the solstice will change. अगर पूरा horizontal हो गया, imagine the solstice will be north pole. Okay, horizontal हो जाएगा, solstice क्या हो जाएगा? यहाँ पर south pole हो जाएगा. ठीक है? So you could put a star mark here and say this one, that that change of the axial tilt by obliquity, change of the axial tilt by obliquity will change, okay, the solstice position on the latitudes, will change the solstice position on the latitudes. अभी समर solstice हो कहां पर रहा है? 23.5 डिग्रीज नॉर्थ में हो रहा है. यहां पर कहां हो रहा है समर solstice? ओके, 23.5 डिग्रीज साउथ में हो रहा है. ओके, तो अब शायद अगर बढ़ गया टिल्ट, probably 40 degrees में होगा, and so on. Is it clear all of you here? What does the tilt do? Okay. Now my question to you is, what will happen when the tilt doesn't change? What changes is the direction. Angle change नहीं हो रहा, but direction change हो जाएगा. Yeah? Reversal होगा. Yes. हाँ, उसको क्या बोलोगे आप? Okay, अब watch here. Say this is the tilt here. Okay, this tilt here. So now the tilt is, say, like this. Again I repeat, ये tilt है. In the same tilt, when the earth comes here, what is above, okay, the sun now? The equator. ठीक है, इसमें क्या है? The north pole towards sun. In this case, the equator towards the sun. In this case, the south pole towards the sun. अब ये tilt ऐसे नहीं रहकर, say the tilt has now become this. Okay, ऐसे नहीं होकर, the tilt has turned towards this. North pole towards equator. अब what's towards equator? Sorry, above the sun, sorry. The north, I repeat, the north pole towards sun, sorry. The north pole towards sun. जब ऐसे हो गया, what's towards the sun now? The equator. ठीक है? तो when the angle has changed, कब होगा solstice? When the earth is now here. Can you imagine here? Okay? So when the angle remains the same, but the direction changes, तब क्या change होने वाला है? The date of the seasons will change, not the length of seasons. Okay, so and if this was the tilt, same angle, ऐसे हो गया tilt, तो क्या होने वाला है यहाँ पर? This is what? Northern summer. अब क्या हो जाएगा? Southern summer. I hope you got the point here, all of you. Okay, so in the precession change, the time of the seasons will change. Okay, the time of the seasons changes. देखो आप, in the precession change, the time of the seasons will change. The time of the seasons will change. which is also referred to as precession of the equinox. Precession of the equinox. Okay. So when the equator is toward the sun, okay, which latitudes will have, again a rephrase, when the North Pole is toward the sun, which latitudes have equal day and night time? The equator alone. The North Pole will have what? Longer days. When the South Pole towards the sun, okay, equator again has equal day, because the line of illumination हमेशा आधा कटेगा इसको. The southern hemisphere will have longer days. ठीक है? When the earth is at this position, which is towards the sun, the equator, which will now have longer days, longer nights. Or rephrase, which one will have equal days and nights? नहीं इमेजिन कर पा रहे हो? This is the axis. Okay. The sun shines like this. This is the circle of illumination. The days are long. The days are long. This is the equator. The days are same as the night. You come down south, okay, the days are short. You come down south, the days are short. ठीक है? When the earth is here, okay, the circle of illumination, जब ये sun है और tilt के साथ में earth अब यहां पर सामने है, okay, then the circle of illumination is this line itself. Okay? In which case, all the latitudes have equal days and nights. Okay? That's why it's called as equinox. So when you are here, okay, all latitudes have equal days and equal nights. That's why it's called as position of equinox. It's also called as position of equinox. Equinox means equal night. Equinox means equal nights. ठीक है? How does the earth revolve? From west towards the east like this. तो अगर ये जून है तो ये वाला क्या होगा? सितंबर होगा. This is September. We have December. यहां पर आओगे, it is okay, the month of March. So December, March, June, September. September is a time of autumn. We call this as autumn equinox. It's called as the autumn equinox. Okay, it is 23rd September. This is called as March, April, spring is called as the spring equinox. This is 21st of March. 21st of March. Okay. So what happens is when there is precision change, okay, ये summer, autumn वगैरह सब चेंज हो जाएगा. The equinox अब यहां नहीं होके कोई और डेट्स में होगा. Okay. So in precision changes, the timings of the seasons will change. The timings of the seasons will change. Will change. Okay. This change is called as precession of equinox. This change is called as precession of equinox. Equinox, it happens once in 25,000 years. It happens once in 25,000 years. Quickly summarizing, just give me a few more minutes, please, all of you. One is, you understand what is the circle of illumination. I'm just revising it for you once, okay? Lot of terms taught to you, some of which you knew, I'm sure. But I'm putting that as a documented, facts, and concepts. You know what is circle of illumination. Second, the tilt of the axis results in the circle of illumination cutting the latitudes unequally, and therefore the length of day and night is no longer the same. Okay? The length of day and night is no longer the same. Third, the equator always has equal day and night. The equator always has equal day and night. वो किसी भी time में, the circle of illumination always cuts the equator equally. It always has equal day and night. Okay. The fourth point, seasons are a condition. Seasons are a condition when there are variations in temperature, when there's variations in temperatures and in the length of day and night through the year. Okay? Seasons are a condition when there is or when there are variations in temperatures and in the length of day and night through the year. Okay? Fifth, seasons are because of tilt and revolution. But I said the more important one, if you want to mark, is the tilt. Because all bodies, may revolution the must hai. What varies is the tilt. Online, are you all with me? Online students, are you all with me? Okay? Yes, you can do that. आप इसका summary लिख सकते हो. I'll give you 6-7 points. It'll help you revise better. Second point, the tilt of the axis results in the circle of illumination cutting the latitudes unequally. And therefore, the length of day and night is no longer the same at all latitudes. At all latitudes. Okay? The third point is the equator always has equal day and night. इसमें कोई doubt नहीं है. It always has equal day and night. The fourth, seasons क्या हैं? Seasons are a condition when there are variations in the temperature. Okay. and there are variations in the length of the day and night through the year. समर सीजन्स में अलग टेम्परेचर है, विंटर्स में अलग एवरेज है, लेंथ ऑफ डेज लॉन्गर इन द समर्स, short winters, and so on. Okay, so what are seasons? And I said seasons are because of tilt, okay, and revolution, but the tilt is more important factor. यहां तक ठीक है? Okay. Then I was explaining what does the term tropics mean. Tropics क्या होता है? Tropics are the northern and the southern latitude limits. They are the northern and the southern latitude limits within which the sun seems to shift. They are the northern and the southern latitude limits within which the sun seems to shift as earth revolves around the sun. ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये seem to shift actually होता नहीं है. The shift is apparent shift. It seems to shift. The northern limit 23.5, southern limit 3.5. And this tropics का जो latitude है वो change हो जाएगा as the tilt changes. You know? That the tropic latitude limits will change if the tilt of the earth changes. The tropic latitudes limits will change if the tilt of the earth changes. Okay. Greater tilt का मतलब क्या होगा? I will have a longer tropical range. Okay. More tilt will increase the range of the tropical latitudes. ठीक है? The next fact. As Earth revolves, there are 4 critical positions. As the Earth revolves, there are 4 critical positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, लिखो. Number 1, North Pole towards the sun. Okay. And sun shining over Tropic of Cancer. North Pole towards the sun. Sun shining over Tropic of Cancer is called as the summer solstice position. Summer solstice position. The length of days are longer in the summers, in the north. The length of days are longer in the summers in the north. Second position, the south pole towards the sun. The sun over Tropic of Capricorn. The south pole towards the sun. The sun over Tropic of Capricorn. And length of days are longer in the southern hemisphere. It's called as the winter solstice. पहला वाला है summer solstice, 21st of June. नॉर्थ वाला जो समर है, नॉर्थ वाला जो पहला वाला है समर solstice लिखा आपने. The second is winter solstice and the date is December 22nd. The third position is the equator towards the sun. Equator towards the sun. ये autumn में होता है. Autumn, which is September, autumn September, 23rd September, and in the spring, 21st March, and the spring, 21st March. इसमें क्या है, इन दिस इज द इक्विनॉक्स पोजिशंस. The circle of illumination, the equinox position, the circle of illumination cuts all latitudes equally. Cuts all latitudes equally. And all latitudes have same length of day and night. All latitudes have the same length of day and night. Can you revise this once and ask me if you have a question? Whatever I have taught last, 2.5 hours, I have summed up in this 10-12 sentences. एक बार सेंटेंस पढ़ के मुझे पूछो अगर कोई डाउट है, then I'll add 3 more sentences. दिस इज एक्चुअली एलिमेंट्री. ये स्कूल 8, 9, 10th का लेवल का डिस्कशंस हैं, बट आई नो सम ऑफ अस वुड हैव मिस्ड आउट. फोर्थ पॉइंट वाज आई सेड सीजन्स आर ए कंडीशन व्हेन देयर आर वेरिएशंस इन टेम्परेचर एंड इन लेंथ ऑफ डे एंड नाइट थ्रू आउट द ईयर. Seasons are a condition when there are variations in temperature and in length of the day and night through the year. Length of day and night through the year. सेकेंड वाला क्या लिखा था मैंने? ये वाला क्या समझ में नहीं आया? अरे ये तो मैं शुरू किया था कहानी. अगर अर्थ was vertical, along this plane is also circle of illumination, and the length of night and the length of day, length of night and the length of day, length of night and day are same. Sun इस तरफ है, okay? The circle of illumination and axis of earth are on the same plane. But अगर tilt हो जाता है, the axis ऐसे हो गया, sun is here, and this is now the illumination circle. If these are the latitudes, then the day is here और night छोटा है. The day ये पूरा ही डे है. इसमें बिकॉज ये हाफ, इसके इधर डे टाइम है, इसके इधर नाइट टाइम है. दैट्स अबाउट इट. क्या मिस किया बताओ? अच्छा अब ठीक है. लेट मी गो बैक एंड रिपीट द सेंटेंस इन दैट केस. ओके. The tilt of the axis results in the circle of illumination cutting the latitudes unequally, and therefore the length of day and night, okay, are no longer same at all latitudes. Length of day and night winter solstice में, okay, the nights are longer and the days are shorter, Ganesh. Point number 5. Point 5 was, okay, that the seasons are because of tilt and revolution, dono. But of the two, the tilt is more important factor. The seasons are because of tilt and because I'm assuming all heavenly bodies have revolution. What changes is the tilt of the bodies. All fine here? अच्छा, then continue the points. I didn't give a break today because मुझे लगा कि शायद flow आपका impact हो जाएगा. When I finish off, then I'll give you Okay, the day of itself. Okay. Another few minutes here. The summaries I'm continuing. Okay. Next is the axial tilt is known to vary. The axial tilt is known to vary. क्या variations? One is the tilt angle can change. It's called as obliquity. The tilt of the axis is known to change. Okay. The tilt can change in two ways. One is the tilt angle can change. We call it as obliquity. It happens once in 41,000 years. What does the tilt angle change do? It changes the season contrast. Summers can be very, very hot and the winters can be very, very cold. Contrast change ho jayega. It changes the contrast of seasons. Okay? And I said, the sun can be over the head for higher latitudes also. The second change I said was change in the direction of the tilt. We call that as precession. Okay? The tilt can change in two ways. Change in the angle of the tilt, change in the direction of the tilt. Okay? We know the change can happen between North Pole and Star Vega. There's a shift that happens. And this happens once in 25,000 years. Some books will mention 24, some will mention 26. They know the value around 25,000 years. What does this do? It can change the timing of the seasons and the equinox. It changes the timing of the seasons and the equinox. Otherwise, seasons ka length change nahi hoga. The temperature averages will also not change. All changes, timing will change. So when we were having summer solstice, I might have equinox. When I have winters, I might have another equinox. The timings will change. Take all of you? Okay. Now, one more term likho, give a heading. Give a heading. Orbit of the earth around the sun. Orbit of the earth around the sun. Okay. Now, the earth revolves around the sun. The earth revolves around the sun on a plane called as orbital plane. Called as the orbital plane. It is also called as ecliptical plane. It's also called as ecliptical plane, orbital plane or ecliptical plane. Okay? So now watch here. If earth is vertical and this is equator, और इसी line में I have the sun and the sun's equator and earth moves along this plane. तो सारा match हो गया. The equator plane matches with the orbital plane. Like इस orbit में the plane is what is a two-dimensional surface here. It's all matches. But what's happening is, in reality, the tilt is here. ये sun है. Okay. This is the equator and this is the equatorial plane. along this. But Earth का revolution is along this line, along this plane. ऐसे घूम रहा है. Okay. So this plane is called as the orbital plane, not same as the equatorial plane of the Earth. कितना होगा एंगल इसका? What the angle will be? Same as axial tilt. Yes. तो अगर ये vertical है, okay, and this angle is 23.5. ये वाला भी 23.5 ही होगा. Write down this. That orbital plane of the Earth does not coincide with the ecliptical plane. Sorry, doesn't coincide with the equatorial plane of the Earth. The orbital plane of the Earth does not coincide with the equatorial plane of the Earth. There's a tilt angle of 23.5. There is a tilt angle of 23.5. Okay, that's one fact. Now watch here, all of you. For our practical purpose, sun is stationary and the earth is moving. Okay? And earth also rotates. Earth rotates, earth is moving. हमें दिखता कैसे है? That the sun is rising on the east and going towards the west. ठीक है? So if there's a man who is standing, okay, at the equator like this, what he sees is, okay, because earth is moving from west towards the east, the sun rises on the east, the sun moves, and the sun sets on the west. So if I see in the sky, I can draw a line how the sun is moving, which is nothing but the line along which earth is moving. I hope you got the point here. So the line that the sun traces on the sky is called as the ecliptic again. Okay? देखो आप इसको. The line that the sun seems to trace, the line that the sun seems to trace in the sky is also called as the ecliptic. Is also called as the ecliptic, which is nothing but the consequence of Earth's rotation and revolution. Earth's rotation and revolution. I hope you got the point, all of you here. Okay, so 3 terms I told you. What is an ecliptical plane? What is the equatorial plane? And what is the meaning of the word ecliptic line? Okay, जैसा sun जो line trace करता है, okay, that's called as the ecliptic line. Next, write down. The path of the Earth's orbit around the sun is not circular. The path of Earth's orbit around the sun is not circular. It is actually an ellipse. It is actually an ellipse. With the sun at one of the foci. With the sun at one of the foci, F-O-C-I. देखो अगर सर्कल होता है ना, there is one center, one focus. अगर ellipse होता है, it has 2 centers like this. This is the foci 1. This is the foci 2. Okay. अर्थ का जो पाथ है, it is an ecliptical path. It is, eclipse. It's an eclipse path. Okay, the path is, an eclipse. और सन जो है, एक फोसाई पे है. So, at some time, the earth is the nearest. At some time, the earth is the farthest. जब नियरेस्ट होता है, इस पोजीशन को बोलते हैं what? Perihelion. And when earth is farthest away, it's called as the aphelion. The perihelion and apogee, perigee is for the moon. For the sun, it is helion. Peri पास में, apy away, far away. और dates हैं. The perihelion position is January the 3rd. And the aphelion position is July the 4th. It is July the 4th. वैसे नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर में जुलाई जनवरी इज समर और विंटर्स. समर्स है. ओके. एंड द सन जनवरी इज विंटर्स. नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर. ओके. जुलाई समर्स, नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर. समर है लेकिन अर्थ पास में है, तो क्या होगा? The summers are not as hot and the winters are not as cold. It has an impact. बहुत ज्यादा impact नहीं है, but थोड़ा बहुत impact है. Okay. So when there is winters, it should be cold, but sun पास में है. The consequence is that the winters could have been more colder. Okay. And the summers could have been more hotter. Even this changes every 10,000 years. Okay. Sometimes it becomes more eccentric, it becomes less eccentric. Okay. Add kar lo. The shape of the Earth's orbit can also change. The shape of the Earth's orbit can also change. Can also change. Okay. It's called as eccentricity variations. It is called as eccentricity variations, which happens once in 10,000 years. Which happens once in 10,000 years. Fine then, that's for today. So we have taken care of astronomy facts, taken care of latitude, longitudes, dateline, and this tilt and the rest, how it impacts temperature and season. All of you please summarize these notes. Okay, I said they are very easy. एक बार समझ में आ गया, you'll have no problems there. And tomorrow we'll move on towards the geological time scale and towards something on landforms and the processes. ठीक है? Okay, all of you. Have a nice day, and offline students stay back for 15-20 minutes. See if you can summarize quickly and finish the work. Of online also, don't leave your whatever. अगर पलंग में बैठे हो या फिर चेयर में बैठे हो, or you are on the floor, whatever is your position, बैठे रहो, don't leave till the synopsis is done. Make synopsis a habit thing in every class. ओके, अल्टीमेटली जो भी पढ़ाया है वो मैंने 7, 8, 10 पॉइंट में दे दिया आपको. द क्रक्स ऑफ टुडेज क्लास. टेबल चेयर, गणेश, फाइन. ओके, which I think is unusual. हाँ नवीन, ओके, क्लास हो चुकी है, बट you guys can hang on to finish off your work. Okay, catch you tomorrow. Bye. One reminder to all of you, you have to finish your NCERT work and submit. And the date is Saturday. The first 6 chapters of class 11th NCERTs. Okay, bye.